So here is our finished chicken coop. We have a few more things to add, which would be a little bit more gravel, some sand possibly, some things to keep it less muddy because they are silkies and they aren't as great at keeping dry as other chickens because they have more fur than they do feathers. And so gravel will help with keeping the mud on a little bit less when it rains and eventually snow. And then we have a little ring in here I used from our fire pit because we don't need it. And I'm going to fill it with ashes so that they can dust bathe. So those are the two bigger things that we have to change. But here is the coop door. It took us a little bit to figure out where to put this coop. Here's a cute little window so we can creep in on them. Over here is the nesting box. Right now it is closed off to them because they won't be laying for a while, probably about 4 or so more months. It is located underneath a big old tree that will help keep it shaded. The top is corrugated roofing and it's slanted to keep the rain off of the coop. They have a little space underneath the coop to eat and drink. I did that to try to keep debris out of it. I'm sure they will always manage to get dirt and things in it, but that just decreases the likelihood. I have 3 waterers out here because I'm crazy. Honestly, I just wanted to see which one they liked the most. I just got this feeder from my neighbor. Super adorable. And they can all eat at the same time. I'm sure that they will probably still try to fight over 1 or 2 holes though, because that's how they are so far. And there's a latch to go in. This cute little rug. That makes no difference at all, but looks cute. Serves no purpose. Anyways, I have some roosting sticks in here, even though these chickens don't particularly roost as much as other chickens. I have 2 black silkies over there in the corner. They're sunbathing / dust bathing / hiding away from the other ones, but they are a little bit more flighty and they do like the roosting bars. So here is the ramp that we handmade to go up in there. They have figured out how to come down from it, but they don't know how to get up it yet because we just put them out here yesterday. They do say to keep them in the coop for, I think, a few days to a week, and that teaches them that that's home, and I guess makes it easier at night when you are wrangling them up in there. They learn at sunset to go up in there by themselves. We are rebels, so we just put them in there yesterday midday. They spent all day out in the run. It's not that big, so it won't take a whole lot of time to wrangle them up. I just had my 9-year-old help me yesterday get them up there. Anyways, the run is mainly dirt and rocks, and they are absolutely loving it. There are a few plants left, but those will not last long because they will devour them. Every now and again, probably once a day, for about an hour, we will take them out in the yard with us, very supervised. Our birds do not fly like other breeds of chickens, so they can't really escape from predators. So they're only allowed out in the yard with us when we're out there with them to keep them safe. We have lots of hawks here, so we want to do our best to, keep them safe. So we took the door off for now because we're going to make another door that's sort of like a screen door, and that will add some ventilation in there. We do have 2 vents, but in the summer it will be really warm. So we're going to make a second door as a screen door for the summer. And it slides right in these slats. It will close all the way when I move the ramp, but has a little eye hook on the top. There's another eye hook here, another eye hook here, and then we're going to add a 4th one so that we can clip it. But there's a string that attaches to this. It goes through the hoops and you just pull on it and it raises and lowers the door. But like I said, right now we just have it off and we'll put it on there manually just because it makes it easier for us right now since we'll be adding a second door. That way we won't have to keep redoing it. I have this ridiculous swing that's not really a swing and they'll probably never use it. And we have this area fenced off. We were going to extend it all the way down, but for now this will work until we figure out the best way to keep predators out. We are double fenced in here though. We have their fencing, we have a kennel, and then we have fencing on the bottom to keep things out. And then outside of this coop is the other gate to the kennel. So we feel fairly safe, but I've heard crazy stories and I want to keep them as safe as possible. Anyways, we have this door to open to clean it out with a little latch that locks. Inside the coop I have some sticks for them to roost, even though silkies don't tend to roost like other chickens. They actually kind of sleep in a pile, and I've witnessed that the entire time we've had them. It's pretty hilarious, but also adorable. But I put them in there just to, I don't know, entertain them. Last night I peeked in the window and they were just huddled in this little corner here, and it was the cutest thing ever. Vents, window, and then the nesting boxes that are closed off right now. Apparently you don't want to let them just sleep or lay or play in there until they are laying, and then you open it up and it teaches them to use it just to lay their eggs. Because what happens if they go in there and sleep and just do the regular things is that they poop in there, and you want your eggs to be as clean as possible. So we're gonna try to avoid that. We don't follow all rules. We kind of do what we think is best. And go from there. But yeah, here's our little coop and run, and we have 6 little silkies. They're a little bit smaller. Right now they're only 2 months old, but even as full grown, they're not quite as big as other breeds. So for the 6 of them, this coop and run size is perfect. And that's all for now. I wanted to add 2 things about the chicken coop that I didn't put in the first video, and one is that we are adding hardware cloth to the existing chicken wire that we already have on it, and that's to give extra protection against predators. And second is that we have, that you couldn't see in the first video, netting that goes all the way across the top of the coop and the run to keep out hawks. The way we built the coop and the location made it very difficult to do like normal things that people would do for a chicken coop and run. A lot of people will frame out the entire run with wood or PVC pipe and hardware cloth that in. It's a lot simpler to do that than what we did, but we have a very challenging spot where we put the chicken coop because we didn't want to use existing yard space. Our yard is very hilly, and that would require like leveling it out, which would be very difficult. Our yard also isn't like the biggest because we live in a city/town, and so our yard space is already limited. So we wanted to use a space that was basically not being used already for something else. And we liked that the existing dog kennel around it offered a little extra protection against bigger animals like, I don't know, foxes, coyotes, which are rare in this exact spot, but definitely possible because, well, that's because they live here. So if we had to redo it, we would definitely pick a level spot, not in this yard, and frame out the whole run with the coop inside of it and hardware cloth the whole thing. They have lots of videos and other tips of how to keep things out of your coop and run. Some of them line the base of the run with rock to make it harder for things to dig under. But as I said in my video, the first time, ours is on a concrete slab with like dirt and things in the actual run, so nothing can actually dig under. It's all concrete. And I think that's the last two things I wanted to add. I just wanted to add those in case you're thinking about making a coop. I would suggest finding a level spot or making a level spot and doing that instead of what we did. But we used the space that we could, and we did what we could with it. It ended up being a lot harder than it needed to be probably, but it's done. And it was an interesting project, and it was fun to do together, but I am definitely glad that it's done. This is the chickens' first time out in their run, and they are loving it. Funny little creatures. Chickies! Chickies! Good morning.